Hello, I'm Steve Monkey Mason and welcome back. This is the second podcast for Ghostbusters 2, or the first podcast for Ghostbusters 2, the second in the Ghostbusters series. I'm joined alongside once again by the one and only Paul Rae. Hello, Paul.
Hello, everybody.
There he is. There's Paul. So we're about to press play on Ghostbusters 2. I'm going to press play right about now. Now I'm watching it on Blu-ray. Paul's watching it on Netflix. Just before this starts, you know how I was on about the violinist in the first one?
Yeah.
It is the bad guy from Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Ah, right.
I was happy with myself for that bit of knowledge. So this is about 5 years after the original, isn't it? Or is it longer?
Yes, it's 5 years later.
No, but is it
5 years later, doesn't it?
Is it longer in production though?
Obviously, it was 1984 the first film came out, and 1989 the second film came out, so not really. I think it just quickly hurried up, didn't it? So when's the first time you've seen this film? When was the first time?
I think this one was all the hype when it was coming out, because I mean I would have been about 6 or 7 then, and I think all the hype around Ghostbusters 2 was going on. I mean I didn't see it until it came to VHS. You know what I mean? It wasn't the pictures, but this is a very fucking scary movie compared to the first.
I do have a soft spot for Ghostbusters 2. Like I said, I think I was 8 when I went to the Odeon in Northumberland Street to watch it, and then straight away afterwards I bought the Ladybird book. You know, like the Ladybird Ghostbusters book. So I bought that just to go for film. But yeah, again, here we go, Ghostbusters 2.
It's very. I mean, to get the cast back as well. I think that's what sells it. I mean, Sigourney Weaver at this point, she would have been gearing up for Aliens 3 as well. You know what I mean?
I think it was in 92, 93 Aliens 3.
Well, it took a long time to get through that production.
Yeah, you're right, actually, yeah.
But this is the kid's a twin as well, isn't it? So.
It is, yes. 2 of them, yeah. Forgot what their names are now, like. But yeah, I think I used to have a blanket like that. Oscar has.
So Oscar's essentially the violinist who I've just been talking about being the killer and the bad guy in well, he is a killer actually, and there's a lot of stunts going on there with all kinds of things. But now he's essentially, she went back to him as a character, didn't she? Once her and Bill Murray didn't work out. I mean, even look at that stunt, man. That's closing off the whole street.
There's this animation here, and the music just comes up, and this animation here, the Ghostbusters symbol coming up, but it's obviously the Ghostbusters 2. I mean, that's great. I mean, that animation's absolutely great. Get to Ecto 1, look at it, man.
Number 2.
Dilapidated, dirty.
Beat down. I mean, in the end of the day, they couldn't do more than 4 films. He's only got 4 fingers, bless him.
Going past Dana's apartment there, next to the horse.
Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it? Subtle little insight. I told you Paul Rae knows what he's talking about.
I know more about Ghostbusters 1 and 2, like, because obviously there's not that much stuff on Ghostbusters 2, really, is there?
Yeah,
like,
there's no audio commentary or anything.
No. So just little things I've probably noticed while watching it in the past.
And here is, she's in loads of movies, her, who's just appeared. She's normally in a lot of Richard Donner movies. Now the kid here is Ivan Reitman's son, who's directing the new one, isn't it?
It is, yes. Not this one. This one he's put up too, isn't it? He-Man, man, just dates it.
I want He-Man.
The packs, they're really heavy.
Yeah.
Look at them now. We've got padding all over the there he is there. We've got padding all over the shoulders and stuff now. So obviously they've made them a lot less heavier, because that's what actors are paying for.
Ernie Hudson looks like a different actor because he hasn't got the tash.
Yeah, so obviously this was really for a real Ghostbuster, so yeah. So they actually had a song at the same time. That's very good incorporated for the film, isn't it?
It is, yeah. He-Man.
Just shows you the age. Obviously this would have been, but when was Master of the Universe? What, 1988? 89?
About that, yeah, because I mean, you had stuff like Thundercats, Brave Star. Brave Star was just really starting up about that time. Ghostbusters. The Ghostbusters cartoon would have been phasing out as well.
Yeah. Ghostbusters universe. The Dolph Lundgren one.
88, wasn't it? 88 or 89. Cause I've actually just been watching Universal Soldier before you called, and I was like, right, okay, right, this is just after Masters of the Universe, and that's 1990. So
Yeah, it's a bit when I talk about they're getting sued and all bankrupt and they can't do any of the jobs anymore now.
score looks like. I mean, she would have shaved her head not long after this, like.
Obviously, she worked at like Working Girl and stuff like that, and yeah.
When was Dave? No, Dave was like after this, wasn't it? A couple of years later, Dave.
It was 90s, wasn't it?
And the return of
And
Egon.
Look at his hair, man. Proper like, wavy and all like permed and stuff. I mean, this is that.
Because in the cartoon he's blonde, isn't he? Just to give a blonde outcome to someone.
Like, I think they tried to match the setting film to most of the characters from the cartoon, because obviously the reason why they did Ghostbusters 2 because of the real Ghostbusters.
Being a bigger hit.
Yeah.
I mean, he's quite sinister, Egon here, with his social experiments and stuff like that. But again, it's borrowing a page from Venkman in the first one.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Turning the teacher.
And obviously this goes towards the mood slime, really, isn't it? About humans' emotions and stuff like that.
Yeah, that slime when it first appeared. I mean, it just looks lush. And it's coming through the concrete at the very start.
Yeah, kind of reminds of the Blob. You know, the 80s Blob.
Your favourite Blob. Jameson Newlander film. The Blob's, I mean, when I rewatched that, like the Blob holds no prisoners, like, because you think, like, oh, he's the lead actor, and he does the whole Hitchcock, and he gets killed, like, when he's hiding behind the door on him and stuff. It's quite,
Yeah. When I watched Blob, I watched Blob as a kid on videotape, again, talking about, in them days you could just, not really rent anything, but you would watch them, because obviously they'd be in your parents' video library, so you would just watch them in, and just, if that film just freaks me out so much, it's so freaky, it's one of my favourites that I'll go to, because I was scared as a kid.
I got the vinyl for that. Purple vinyl.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a very memorable score, it was just extremely cheap.
Yeah.
Because at this time, though, the real Ghostbusters had that range of toys coming out. Where you had the policeman that his belly came out, and the old woman had that big crocodile jaw, and like even it the beetle turned into a praying mantis and stuff. There were like, because there was that. Then there was like a range of Ghostbusters where they had mouths and all that opened up and stuff.
The screaming ones, yeah. And then I had the space ones also, where like Ghostbusters in space and stuff like that.
Now I think this is a very, very funny sketch. Like, it is just ludicrous. Obviously, I think it's Kevin Pollak on the side who was in stuff like Usual Suspects and Transformers and stuff, isn't he?
He is, yes. But that's what Peter Fickman would be doing, is it? Really doing a really crappy cable show, isn't it?
Predicting the world's going to end.
Right, though. New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve. Oh shit! Vigo. I never even thought about that. Yeah, you're right. He's predicting.
Right, yeah.
He's predicting Vigo, and it's joked about that. And I just thought he was just another nut. But yeah, you're right. I love it how the camera's on the background as well. That must be just off to the side of the main camera.
Yeah.
When I was watching Universal Soldier before as well, Dolby Digital, there's this, I don't know if you remember the production logo when it's a train. My God, it looks so bad.
Yeah. Really, this might be Esmond.
I'm surprised.
The story's the best, I think.
I'm surprised they let him wear that jacket though, because on VHS it would probably be very hard to look at that.
Yeah. Be all like all over the place with the NTSC and your PAL and your conversion and whatever you call it these days.
1080p.
Oh, hi.
She's a bit cross-eyed, isn't she?
She is, yeah.
Just slightly. See, we never got shows like this over here. We get like, not like anybody who was out ludicrously out there, but
Nah. We got like a lot of American TV shows like Jerry Springer in the 90s and stuff, but yeah, nothing, because obviously we didn't have much cable. We had like 7 channels on cable one time.
oh, I know. I remember the big launch down having Channel 5 on the television. Like, but like Jerry Springer, Jerry Springer, like he was more famous because they were bringing the best out of him on VHS. You know what I mean? I mean,
I love this bit, yeah.
the thing is, right, with this film,
Aliens. Don't trust them.
it's not long after this that the X-Files would appear. You know, there was a massive, like, a lot of,
early 90s.
like, 90s was a massive year for really, like, pushing for not just aliens, but, like, look at, well, like a bald cat there.
You just give a cat back to the guy who's
Upside down. I think you're just ahead of me today, like.
Oh, really? 2 seconds there.
Shaking hand in the cupboard. He's walking, talking.
Yep, and then I've just paused it for 2 seconds.
Yeah. Big
That's the thing about doing over this way, it's pretty hard, and there's Lenny.
Ah, yeah, the mayor. And this guy here,
everything.
he's disappeared quite recently, but he's in like Running Man. No Holds Barred.
Yeah.
But he's always the slime. He's always the right-hand slime man.
Yeah, I'm sure it was in the Psych TV show from the early 2000s.
He definitely looks like he's related to John Lovitz as well.
Yeah, he does actually. Kiss my ass.
Fucking big ass museum. Right, Vigo, man. I've actually got him on canvas. And there's that guy from Working with a Christmas, Janusz.
Yes, you did it very badly. You did it terrible.
But he's in
Mr. Bean the movie.
He's in Mr. Bean the movie. And I think he's not in like Seinfeld or something like that.
Probably like. But he's really good like in this.
But that Vigo painting, I mean, as I say, I've got that printed on canvas just up in the editing room on here, and it's generally terrifying.
It is really good though, isn't it? He plays a creep really well, doesn't he?
Aye, what, Janusz?
Something in your hair. Yes.
It's me, Janusz. Especially when he's dressed as the old woman later on.
Yes. A child. Peter McNichol, that's him. Ali McBeal, there we go.
Ali McBeal, I knew it was one of them, like.
The bloody dancing baby from the freaking stuff. That's what I remember from it. I love this bit. Do you have a bad rep? She walks past us 4.
He almost plays that as he's blind as well, you know. The way he plays it. And then first bit of CGI coming here.
I mean, come on, that's awesome, that, like, isn't it?
Honestly, that is just enough. I mean, generally, like, you could have probably done that with somebody off camera pushing the face through with the right kind of material, I imagine.
Like Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, like the wall.
That's all fabric. But obviously, that's the reason why, like, Bill Murray did like this film, because he spent more on special effects. But I think special effects are absolutely awesome.
I mean, it's good character development. Shows you that Ray's got a bookshop set up, just like You've Got Mail, kind of like really captures one of them nookie crookie bookshops. Have you seen You Got Mail?
No.
Ah, mate, it's an amazing film. Like, it's Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, and it's far better than Sleepless in Seattle. Like, give it a watch.
I'll watch it one time and I'll be bothered.
Isn't this what the bookie? No, it's that book we're on about as well.
Tobin Spirit Guide.
No, it's not. I thought that's what he had ordered. I did think of a good series we could do next, though.
Yeah.
Turtles.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Who? I like when he just grabs his lugs. It looks so painful, doesn't it?
Razor Cult. Is that a name for a shop, man?
Who?
But apart from that, I mean, apart from the new Ghostbusters in the game, these guys didn't work together. But Bill Murray worked with Harold Ramis on Groundhog's Day, which would have been a year, about a year after this, though. Maybe it's 2 years max.
93, wasn't it?
But then they didn't speak until he died, though, did they?
Neil had a really big falling out during filming, and then there's a famous story when Harold Ramis was dying. Bill Murray went up with some police cars and stuff, and he had some donuts, and they just talked for hours and hours. Which is really, really, really nice, to be honest. Like,
now that's this looks like exactly the same apartment.
Yeah, it does. I think just the bloody.
Just like
paper, doesn't it?
The piano will be there where Dan Aykroyd is now.
Yeah. He's so creepy still, Bill Murray, isn't he? He's still a pest.
He fucking totally is. I've been there, Data, and I'm back.
But as soon as he sees Oscar, he just walks away.
It definitely, yeah. I mean, I don't. Is it meant to be the same apartment?
I don't think she will live in the same apartment. Would you?
Well, you know,
It's blown up anyway.
Assurance.
I would not be living in the same place if it was haunted.
He got turned into a dog and all that.
Yep.
Tell you what, they are not light things to pick up them.
Cellos. And cellos. Yeah, here's the story now. It's about what's happened to Mr. Wright.
And he goes off on a European so it's essentially the same guy from the original.
That could be, yeah. Let's see if you think about it. Oh, this poor baby. But yeah, you're right. It was played by two twins. No, twins. Yeah.
Must be mental to look back. I mean, on that Friday the 13th documentary, they've got that girl who's the baby. I think in Jason Goes to Hell, and like she's fully grown now. I don't remember it, and but she's been interviewed for it.
Yeah, and they do autographs and stuff still, don't they?
Yeah, it's like the kid who's on the front cover of the Nirvana album. You imagine him doing that? Like, who are you? I'm the kid on the front cover of the Nirvana album.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's not many child actors break it. I mean, you've got Culkin from them. You've got like Feldman, like Drew Barrymore and stuff like that. But early 90s just seems to be like, I think there was loads more laws brought in about childs and stuff. That's why they had to sort of cast twins and stuff, didn't they?
Oh yeah, because it's because of the working. That's why. Because obviously, I know he's only a baby, but they have like so many times how many hours they can work with. They'll just swap him for his brother, then they'll take over and stuff like that, isn't it? And I'm sure one of them. It sounds horrible. Like I'm sure one of them killed himself last year. One of the twins.
Jesus.
Yeah. I'm full of good news these days, aren't I?
See, there's not one product placement in that bedroom of kids' toys there, mind.
I mean, I didn't know what a Slinky was until I bloody watched this a few years ago. I don't think I've ever had one. Because the Slinkies are the things that go down the stairs, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had one, but I don't think I was a baby when I had one.
Just flip them over. Used to kids smiling.
Biting his nose off there now.
Yeah.
These days, like I said, they'll be full of Pokemon and anything for, like to get toys, like paid for.
Yeah, pay the placement.
It's funny because Bill Murray does not look like 5 years older, does he? He looks exactly the same.
Even just Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, you're right.
Dan Aykroyd's jumped out a little bit.
He had to look like Ray from Ghostbusters as a cartoon, didn't he? He was always the fat one.
I tell you though, in Groundhog's Day, when Harold Ramis, because he plays the Doctor in that, you get a shock when you see him. Like, I mean, that's only a couple of years later.
Yeah. And again, they're not middle aged now. Like they're probably in their 40s and stuff.
Yeah.
Here comes mommy.
You know, like floating balloons, ABC on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Now it would be Red Bull sponsors.
It would be. You're absolutely right.
Spot the extras carrying skis in the background, crossing the road carrying skis. I mean, where are they fucking going with some skis? And you've got the guy fake running.
There's a peak when a guy got.
Oh, there's the new one. I mean, there's the toy placement right there with that thing.
They never released it. It's a bit of a shame. And the music, because obviously it's not Elmer Bernstein now. The music is properly eerie, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think from now on the film gets eerier and eerier, especially when Winston.
Oh yeah. It's kind of like reminds me a little bit about Indiana Jones of all the dead bodies and stuff.
See, this is what I find a bit funny here. Like, at the end of the day, they're digging up the middle of a road in New York. You think they'll be smart enough to find the nearest sewer system?
Well, I didn't think of that.
Do you know what I mean? Are you going to tell me on that busy industry there isn't a manhole cover around?
Mm-hmm.
New York Times going past?
Hey, yo.
I mean, imagine digging up the fucking road, man. Someone's going to stop you. Yo.
It's funny because it's because like Egon gets a bit more funnier, doesn't he? Because he goes yo, and then in the courtroom goes Do Ray Egon. I mean, so he has a bit more comedy to him, doesn't he?
Yeah, lighten it down. But I don't believe for 1 second that they wouldn't have a check the sewerage systems for that.
That's just a typical friendship thing, isn't it? So must go down there and not both look at the same person.
The thing is, he's dressed to go down there. I don't realise he's got the wetsuit on.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And he gets zapped. I mean, fair play to the actor there, man, for that fall on them ladders. Because that's not a stunt double.
There's Vigo.
That face.
Again, Vigo, I'm sure he was played from the guy in Die Hard, wasn't he?
Oh, he looks... Alexander, what do you call him, who's in Money Pit?
It looks like... but William von Homburg... quick check on IMDb here. But yeah, he played Vigo. I'm sure he was in Die Hard, but also Max von Sydow, who died recently, did the voice, didn't he?
Oh, right. So the voice of... got the voice of Ming.
Yeah. Ming, and from Force Awakens and The Exorcist. That's him. No, so he only died a few weeks ago. A child.
This actor, he's totally give all he's got there, man. They're going down there. Just that face. A child.
A child.
See there, right? This is a manhole cover there they've gone into.
They're not looking for Ninja Turtles, you know.
Could be the same universe.
Could actually. No, they did a Ghostbusters meets Ninja Turtles, didn't they? Yeah, I'm sure they did a comic book of that. The comic book people would know more than me. I can remember the game on the Nintendo of this bit, or the Spectrum, where you get lowered down. And
I don't remember that one. This is a great effect, though. I mean, that slime and all that just looks amazing.
I
love how they went for the pink.
All all these are actually real, like obviously old proper stations, aren't they?
Yeah.
New York from years ago, because I think it's built on top of them.
Great special effects.
Yeah. Here's Bill Murray doing his Bill Murray act. Smacks him right in the head.
You fine man with that hair underneath there.
I got 5. From the sky. I'm going to use that one time. Really things come from the sky.
And then the something reaches out from, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He knocks out the power on the whip, doesn't he? That's what happens here.
Yeah. Again, like I said that the score of Randy Endelman, isn't it? Just adds a little bit more.
And there goes the city. Boof. I mean, that is not an effect. I mean, that's just the skyline going out, but them original streets are just blacked out properly.
Yeah.
This is where he comes with his X-ray eyes.
Excuse me?
I always remember when I had this taped off a telly that would go to advert just after this bit. All these fucking eyes.
Yeah, the buzzer in the neighborhood and I see.
It just totally freak you out, that someone came knocking in. But I love how the red and obviously the emergency light, it's just a bit more a sense of... I mean, there's loads of light coming out of her bedroom, mind. If you flick back to the shot of Sigourney Weaver,
You.
it's very, very well lit in her room.
That guy's so creepy.
He is. I don't want to...
Randy Endelman.
I tell you who reminds me of Toombs from the X-Files.
Oh God, you love the X-Files, you.
I know.
I think that's the same X-Files was the Sky 1 in the 90s.
I'm still watching that up to I think season 6 started last night. There with the eyes.
Yeah. It's great, that, like, isn't it?
It's a great effect.
Oh, this here is probably my all-time favourite scenes of any film. The courtroom scene. I absolutely love this. It's got comedy. It's got excitement. It's got special effects. It's got everything. But basically, this is kind of like the hotel scene, isn't it? So you had the start. You've had this bit, then you have your montage. So it kind of runs exactly the same as the first one.
Yeah, it's very much the same outline, and then Rick Moranis returns.
It's alright, Lewis. We got the rest of the night.
But at the end of the day, they're just fitting him in there, just saying he's an accountant in the original, so.
I know, they couldn't afford like a proper lawyer attorney, so they just got Lewis Tully.
I mean, the judge has been in quite a lot of films, hasn't he?
Oh yeah.
I mean, the village people have just gone past in the background arrested. I mean, what's that about?
That's what to say, yeah. I never noticed that until now.
And there's something new. There's something new for the film.
The statement is meant.
Oh no, it is. But like using transitions between it, like the swipe effect, what you suddenly see in Star Wars.
Yep.
What's that turn the dog? His face is amazing. Look at that reaction. But again, going back to this though, right? Winston's not in the scenario. He's there because he said I wasn't even there. But like, he's almost not. He's not in the scene.
He didn't get arrested. That's why he was breaking the law.
I know, but again, though, like bringing it's the same formula as the first movie.
Yeah. You're right.
He's not even.
If he was.
He's not even behind them, is he?
No. But no, he's not. No. It explains the reason why they can't use this stuff for.
Oh, he was saying that Ernie Hudson is there. Dude, there's a midget in the... Look, can you see next to Ernie Hudson, there's a midget sitting next to him?
You have to see a little person now.
Well, look. No, seriously, go back. Wait. Don't rewind it, but like, wait, it cuts back to them.
Oh my god, you're right.
There's
On.
Oh, there's a little midget.
Wow. I love this bit where he's leading them on. He just mumbles.
Yeah, another film at this point, man. Fucking Dick Tracy. When Dustin Hoffman's mumbling.
I need a suit like that, actually.
Ernie Hudson is sitting in the back. That must have been a long day for him, though.
Getting paid for it.
Well, he's not there now. Oh, he's on this. No, Ernie Hudson's disappeared now.
I can't even see him.
He was behind the Ghostbusters with the next to midget.
Little person.
Wait, whatever.
Oh.
Bubble.
Again, I love his speech when it's set. This bit is absolutely awesome.
I'm sure she's in the Loaded Weapon 1.
Such a great film.
See, Ernie Hudson's not there. Gone.
He's so creepy, just holds the hands. Shit happens. And who you gonna call?
I love it how they've got no jury.
Depends what kind of court it is. Well, I like because it brought a court order, didn't it? From an equipment. So they already broke the law just by having equipment with them.
So it's the Scaly Brothers, that's what they're called, isn't it? Who appear here, isn't it?
The Scaly Brothers, yeah.
I mean, that effect would have been just been air, wouldn't it?
Yeah, for wind, and you're right, there.
It looks stunning on Blu-ray.
Yeah, this was also a better transfer than the very first film, like.
Yeah. Boom.
There they are, Scary Brothers. Oh yeah, the guys just picked them up, taking them out.
So, so like the Scaleri Brothers, do you think they're meant to be the Blues Brothers?
No, probably. But you notice like all the ghosts now look proper like cartoony.
Yeah.
Bigger than the shirt.
Oh, I mean, definitely compared to the Librarian in the first one and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they look massive, don't they? They would never be real people. Like I said about Slimer. Slimer looks completely different in Ghostbusters 2 to the first one.
He's totally like a Casper, man.
Exposing ourselves. I remember that in the trailer. If you ever go back to watch the original trailer, yeah, the lawyer gets taken out, yeah, but there's no special effects of the Sky Brother, so it's like a wire, and the wifey just going out. There's no special effect of Sky Brother yet in the trailer for it.
Where's Winston gone? He's just not in the movie. It's nothing to do about the pan and scan. He's just not there.
I love this awesome bit.
Do.
absolutely shocked on it.
And he's got that sinister smile.
It's awesome, isn't it? But seeing this little pictures was amazing. Then, oh my god! Because obviously the first time I was seeing it, it's like, oh, what's going on? It's just a build up to the ghosts coming is absolutely awesome.
Simple effect, though. You know what I mean?
All those are throwing chairs on there underneath.
Well, that's it. Just air compression, yeah. But even there, what they haven't done, what they did with the original, is all the fire effect trails that they did with the like the stuff, the hotel and stuff. You know, the aftermath of the burns in the walls and stuff.
It's funny, like the way they're going on. They're laughing to tempt the ghosts to come out on it. They're kind of like encouraging ghosts to come out, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So obviously that's how they must have worked. Have different techniques to catch them. They still cause a bit of damage, just a little bit.
That glass firing on that actor there was immense.
It's probably my favourite scene in the film. And they got that new kind of like hero music.
I've just come up with a theory though, that trap wouldn't roll very well on carpet.
I love the Run DMC song. This song's awesome. Janine, she looks younger than she did in the very first one.
She does, aye. Changed the costumes as well as the proto packs. They've changed the sign. They've changed the sign for the movie. You know, the two.
Mm-hmm. It works, doesn't it? I mean, look at Ecto 1A. I think Ecto 1A is my favourite out of the two Ectomobiles. They just got so much stuff added on.
Christmas.
But yeah, look good for
the running ghost.
Still got his cigar in his mouth there.
Again, though, here comes a montage, and obviously in the first one you had the newspaper montage.
Mm-hmm.
Another advert.
I remember, I'm not even joking. Can you remember Wimpy? The food place. Wimpy.
Oh yeah, Wimpy Burgers, yeah.
Yeah, I had a Ghostbusters party there, you know.
Did you?
It was a Ghostbusters 2 party, yeah. I actually got a ghost in a can. There's a Ghostbusters 2 logo. Do not open, because there's a ghost in this can. And one time I opened it and I threw the can down because I thought there was a real ghost in it. It was only last year. And this bit here is actually a deleted scene, you know. This bit here where Ray's driving Ecto 1 crazy, because Ray gets possessed, obviously, later on. You know, when the scanning ego goes off, that he's supposed to crash Ecto 1 because he's possessed. So that's actually a deleted scene from that bit. See, Simon looks completely different.
A lot more greener, that's for sure.
Looks big, massive. And obviously there's all the deleted footage, isn't there, of Rick Moranis with a proton pack trying to catch Slimer and set traps up.
But obviously Slimer was quite a big hit in the TV show, wasn't he? So obviously they needed to bring him back in it.
Oh yeah. So the TVs have improved a little bit in 1989.
She still doesn't have... That looks like... No, it's a book. I thought it was a VHS on top of a TV. It's not.
VHS copy of Ghostbusters 1.
Oh, it's toast a bit, isn't it?
Can you see the slime blower that they're working on right in the corner there?
I mean, that'll just be a bloody tube. Someone blowing it under
yes.
the table.
Yeah, definitely. Which ones do you prefer? Do you prefer the darker suits or do you prefer like khaki suits?
Well, I think it's funny how Winston's wearing the black suit at the moment, like, but there we go.
You love Winston, you.
I just, I like. He should have been in this film more.
Yeah.
I know.
He does look. He looks a lot younger.
He does. I would say the more mustardy suits look better. The dark cream.
Khaki ones. This is so funny, that.
It's always the quiet ones, fucking hell. Toaster.
Very clean, a toaster.
I know.
I've seen how big the wire is for the toaster now. Watch the wire, the electrical wire. See how big it is in a second. When it starts bouncing around, it looks pretty massive. Because obviously that's how limited the effect, wasn't it, really? I love Jackie Wilson. Love this song.
Well, again, though, this scene's like what happens in Gremlins 2 when they make Gizmo dance. A big enough,
you're right, yeah.
big effect around because obviously they were really. But you can see the legs springing up a little bit on them closer shots. If you look very at the bottom, you can see.
The wire?
You know what I was going to say on the would you like some toast? That episode of Red Dwarf. I got one question for you. Would you like some toast?
See, it looks like it has fun doing this film. I mean, I don't know why he hates it so much, Bill Murray. It looks like he had really good fun doing it.
I mean, you got other films that Bill Murray did, like The Man Who Knew Too Little or whatever, and all the weird comedies he had. And, like in a couple of years' time, he was doing like supporting roles in movies like Kingpin. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What about Bob?
What about Bob's an amazing movie, but that was originally meant to be Robin Williams.
Oh wow, didn't know that. Frank Oz, wasn't it, who did that also?
Yeah.
Baby Steps.
Of course, they would have met on a Little Shop of Horrors, aye?
Yes, they would have, yeah. Probably know if she about beforehand.
But what about Bob? I mean, as far as Bob's a bit of a comedy, I think Richard Dreyfuss plays that role so fucking serious that it doesn't come off as a laugh out loud comedy.
Yeah, I don't think you could make it these days, or could you? You could not make What About Bob these days with all the PC.
Well, it's getting remade. It's called What About Barbara?
Oh, shut up, man.
No, seriously. I mean, if you're able to check online now, check online.
2 cents. I want to watch Peter Bateman shake Gianna's hand and then wipe it on himself because he's so creepy.
He's paying a tash on Vigo. You know that ghetto golf at Newcastle we all went to on the staff party, which you missed?
Yeah.
There's just a big picture of Vigo, and there's a big penis, like proper with pink paint around his ball sack.
Ruben did a good picture of that. I would have drawn a little kitten or something. See?
Blow a kitten. Have you found What About Barbara?
No, yeah, I'm just trying to watch a film because otherwise I get sidetracked.
Tell you what, mind, there is some fucking colour in that Vigo picture, mind. It's so bright.
It's really good, though. Oh, I think in the, if I remember right, in the Ghostbusters video game, Vigo, the painting is in the firehouse.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
And I'm sure the painting is actually the original painting is still in a Sony backlot.
Oh, that'd be amazing to see.
I remember one time.
I was half tempted to download the video game, but I just remember it being so hard, especially when you get to the librarian ghost when it's like tornado. It's fucking solid.
Yeah.
But this is a miniature effect coming up, I think, with the bath, because even the bath like moves to the slime.
It kind of looks like it gets crushed, doesn't it? They get all squished up.
Which would be impossible because it's a porcelain bath.
Oh yeah. See, that's just showing you that, like.
It looks like intestines, that.
Yeah. Oh.
Mr. Blobby's making an appearance behind her.
It does remind me of the Blob, the 89,
that
remake.
That is totally blue screen, that there, because you could see the outline of her when she ran away.
Yeah.
And now we get to see Peter's apartment for the first time.
It's a nice one, actually. It's massive.
Yeah. You always see like these apartments and like these films with a massive space, like Freeman and a Baby or Dark Man and stuff like that.
Billy Madison. Big Daddy.
Big Daddy, yeah.
Adam Sandler one.
FX.
Murder by Illusion.
Well, you could class Ghostbusters as a Christmas film here, mind. He's even got a Christmas tree up in his room.
Oh dear, don't start on that. But yeah, you could.
I love it how he's got the telephone. No, he's got the skull cap into it, hasn't he?
And Spengler's fixing the old slime blower, isn't he, there?
Vigo the Carparian. Fucking floppy drive.
Look at that man, look at the text on that man.
Leon. Slow him.
I wish you could see more about the firehouse, you know what I mean? You don't really see much, do you?
I don't think I've seen a bit that is the firehouse yet, mate, to be honest with you. Like, the originals, like the LA set, I don't think it's the LA set.
You think it's a completely different set?
Aye. I mean, don't get us wrong, we did have that scene. I mean, I would have to go back and look at that scene with Slimer again. With
No, I think that was in the LA one. Yeah, I think that was the LA one, if I remember, because that was like the forecourt, wasn't it? That was actually the main bit. So there's probably little bits and bobs in it, like. But as in like Ghostbusters stuff, you would like to see like the room where they make things and.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you only really see his office, the photo bit. That's really it.
It's so sex pesty. He's got a look like a bottle of Budweiser there, still sponsoring Ghostbusters.
Poor little baby.
I mean, especially when you got a scene when they're trying to deliver like that, though.
Yeah. Oh, lovely fade.
Fade to black,
lovely
huh?
spit. Oh, lovely spit.
Don't know if you noticed there, but look, that school bus is blocking off that road in the background, mate.
Ah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm always too busy about the Vigo bit.
Yeah, that school bus is blocking off that road behind them, so no one's coming down it. That's how they've done that very cleverly.
What's your Vigo the bitch?
Vigo the Unholy.
I'll be back. Lovely spit. You know, we'll walk in. Lovely spit. Sticking the guts, guys, with Ghostbusters. It's just at work.
It is, it's not too bad. We're back in black now, like, but the you can always tell the outline. But that looks like a set because that rear window out there.
Oh, well, but yeah.
Matte
It'd be way
paint.
too expensive to film in the proper museum, wouldn't it?
I mean, if they did it now and they went, I mean, did you see that trouble Will Smith was meant to be getting into when they're filming that library location? He started signing all these films because he was bored. And like, the production designer was freaking out because obviously, like, it was just a DVD stand sitting in the background, and he just started like signing them all.
Right.
So this is where Ray gets possessed, isn't it?
It is, yes. So what was going to happen? Ray would get possessed, yeah? Then you'd go in Ecto 1, Ray would crash the car because he was still possessed, and then he had no recollection of what happened. But obviously that scene was cut out and thrown into the montage. Because if you read the real Ghostbusters do Ghostbusters 2, I think it's still in there.
And it's at the end when he turns around and he's quite, he's all possessed properly, isn't he?
Yeah, that's it. See here, the bit there.
Yeah.
So he's actually looking in his eyes. That's where he's getting possessed, really. But then it kind of disappears a little bit. But again, there's not that much stuff, extras or making of documentaries on Ghostbusters 2. You just have to go with what you read and what you find out for yourself.
Aye, like they, as I say, no audio commentary on the second one, which.
Yeah. There's 2 real Ghostbusters cartoons, isn't it, on the DVD?
I mean, I'm watching that Steelbook one, the Jock one, because that's the only way it's available, isn't it?
Yeah.
Either on the Steelbook or your box set 1 and 2 together on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed there, but Peter Venkman had some skis. His apartment is a mess, like.
It looks a bit tidy. I know it's just tidied up, isn't it?
I mean, he's got like.
Yeah, it is a mess, like. I've got tidied up all the time. It's got a bird's nest and everything. Turtle on a bloody computer screen. If you look in the background, you see the Ghostbusters pictures.
Oh, from the montage. Aye, top right corner.
Okay, behind Scotty Weaver right there.
Yeah.
So those would be the ones from the very first film montage, yeah.
But even the Statue of Liberty, there's lots of stuff in the background of the Statue of Liberty. There's a hand.
Board also at the bottom.
There's a Luigi board, yeah.
Wow.
Birdhouse.
Janine Melnitz.
Her hair looks a hell of a lot shorter.
Women.
Forever been a sex pest, Bill Murray. She's done some washing up.
Hamper.
It's a very risky mirror in the background behind Bill Murray now, like for camera people.
Yeah. It's a pretty diamond shaped one, isn't it? But it's nice to see where they live and stuff, isn't it? Know what I mean?
Yeah, well, this is the first time you see his apartment. I mean, you don't see where Ray or Egon ever lived, like, and Winston, well, bless him, he's lucky enough to get a role, never mind a car. I mean, that's got to be a wig. Even little subtle things, like they've got little Ghostbuster cards, and then in the background again, they've got the newspapers up on the wall. She's like a totally different character, isn't she?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'd ask her out. If it works a Ghostbusters, I would. Oh Christ! I have actually got Lois Tully's hair and his glasses.
I know we have.
Did he? Oh, I broke my glasses, by the way.
You've broke your glasses.
Yeah, I was getting changed last night and I sat in them on the bed, so I ordered a new pair today.
I'm actually wearing my Ghostbusters t-shirt. I totally forgot about that. It's that Primark one. I was like, get in, and you see everyone wearing it, and then just give it, you know, you just put it in the back of the drawer for a couple of years and forget about it.
Yep. I love this. The photograph's Bitman, isn't it?
Totally, some of that's gone now. I mean, it's all digital, but like even in Jaws 2, waiting for a photo, and you're getting it out, and you're like, it's like photos taken later on reveals something. You know what I mean?
I did this in media college years ago, photographs and stuff. You know what I mean, with Pentax cameras and that. You know what I mean, I'm waiting to develop a film and the chemicals. But yeah, different world now, like.
River of slime. Winston, hopefully you're still there.
Did you hear what we just said there? What we're going to do? Put our heads in the toilet. Can see the proton packs in the back there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not hanging up on the bench, on the shelf.
I mean, theoretically though, what was that room? Because it looked like a toilet roll dispenser. The size of that fucking door. The toilet roll dispenser.
You don't know any toilet rolls today? Now, Ecto 1 or Ecto 1A? Which one do you prefer?
I think the new one's got far too much stuff on it.
No, that's what I love it, over the top.
Again though, it had to be different to sell the toys.
I must pick up the Playmobil Ecto 1A when it gets cheap.
I think, I just remember that metal one you had years ago.
Oh yeah. I've still got it.
Was that not after we acquired Model Zone stock?
It was, yes. It was a Hot Wheels Elite one.
Yeah, I've got like a range of stuff here.
Oh,
This is terrifying. Now the heads on the stick is just like, I mean, this is a PG, man. It's like, what the fuck?
like I said, it reminds you of, like, you know, like Indiana Jones or like Poltergeist, you know, the skulls and the bodies and stuff like that.
I mean, that would be very difficult for the actors to do, to be honest with you, because it's obviously just a blacked out set with it built, and they're walking in the dark on train tracks. And like Egon's not selling the fact he's doing it, but Winston sure enough is.
This is freaky, like, isn't it?
Winston.
me. This would actually happen to me. I'm not even joking.
This is totally his big moment in the movie, though.
Oh yeah.
And look at that, man. A severed fucking head. And then the ghost train. Do you remember that on Saturday mornings on TV? Ghost train.
Was that Nobby the Sheep that's set in Newcastle?
Nobby the Sheep?
Yeah, Nobby the Sheep.
I just remember Ghost Train.
Remember Nobby the Sheep?
No, I remember Motormouth.
It was a puppet. I'm sure it was Nobby the Sheep. Set in Newcastle.
No, I don't remember it being set in Newcastle. I remember Around the Bend.
I love Round the Bend. With Bumraw and Thunderpants.
Bumraw.
There's a few of those episodes on YouTube now and then. He's actually got really good comedian timing, isn't he? And Hudson in this, like.
It's a total Ghost Train. I mean, he's just got to act to that, you know what I mean? It's...
Like his halo and everything when it's on in a second.
But see... The thing is, I was like thinking about this because obviously we'll do the answer the call after this, but like I think one of the biggest criticism answer the call got when obviously it's got nothing to do with them being women, but like casting one black out of all four of them. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, maybe one of them could have been Latinos or Chinese, and you know, but like I think that's what. They kept the characteristics because similar thing happens to the girl in Ghostbusters with that.
Yeah, because you're right, yeah.
I mean, Melissa McCarthy's shit hot at the time, you know what I mean? She was in Blockbuster after Blockbuster. She's also really good friends with the director. Is it Kirsten Wiig?
Yeah, she's a good friend. She does Bridesmaids also, isn't she?
I think she's beautiful. She looks so much like Jennifer Anderson as well. And then, is it Holtz?
Holtzman, what do you call her? From Saturday Night Live.
Well, she was very, very popular with the gay community, which was awesome to see as well, you know what I mean? So it appealed to the right, you know what I mean? But I think as fans, when you go, you know, like go and do it, but then go a little bit more different, I think they just try to... It's not a remake though, is it? It's more of a... It's not a reboot, is it? It's more of like a... Well, I suppose it is a failed remake in a way.
Yeah, but I'm talking about when we watch it properly, because we've got lots to say about that.
They just disappear here. As soon as they hit the pink, they're gone.
Yeah. Kate McKinnon, that's her name. I forgot her name now. I'm terrible for names at the moment.
I've never been to a restaurant like that anywhere. We just don't have these kind of restaurants in England.
Nando's? What? No. No.
See, again, we're like missing story, you know what I mean? It's...
Bit of a history now, isn't it?
It's a curveball to throw at it. It is. It's a really interesting thing because they could have just been married now with a kid, and that's the reason why he doesn't want to be involved in the Ghostbusters here. Yeah. But they've thrown the curveball in the fact that it's not his kid, and he's trying to... Which I think, you know, credit to them for doing that.
Yeah, they had to explain what happened, don't they? They kind of just leave it like the start of it, not to explain what happened.
But that's good though, because then you're not seeing the same like normal shit you would normally expect. Oh yeah, like, you know what I mean? Because he could have went down the failed TV presenter and all that. She's a totally different character. I mean, look at her, man. She's like a predator here.
And that'll be Schwarzenegger if she wants. what is it? No fish tanks. Nothing.
Nothing.
Fake fish.
I mean, I've got a fish tank because my fish died, but I kept it and I've got Jason Voorhees in it. I've got Waterworld Blu-ray and me Jaws pop vinyl.
I was going to say why not. It doesn't surprise me with you.
See, this is very like, again though, because this would have been coming out for kids. This is very the way she's acting. And it's like, whoa.
This is me on a date, by the way.
Proper quiet and. God, I bet they had to be fucking covered in that.
That stuff reminds me actually of the real Ghostbusters slime from the figures.
You don't get that much now though. Like normally it's all putty that just molds in your hands and stuff, but.
If you watch this bit of the set when Ray's going to hit Winston, it takes him ages to get his like fists up in a minute to punch him, and by the time just take his finger off, it takes ages. If I remember right. So yeah. Punch him, then he goes, "Oh wait, I'll change your mind. Oh yeah, I'll take this off." Just Dan Aykroyd's overacting as usual.
I mean, they're still covered, like mainly in the face. I mean, if they had the budget, you would have just went and knocked the fire hydrant off and got blasted. That's what it's going to be like after this lockdown's released, right? Trying to get it like booked at a restaurant. They'll be like, nah, we're booked till September.
Yep. KFC, McDonald's. You're scaring me.
That woman in the background's not even reacting to them.
Oh God.
That's fucking mint, that bit with the slime.
Right. Now, Bobby Brown song. What do you think?
I've got the single of this, Bobby Brown. I've got the 12-inch single of it with the guys on the front cover with like a yellow background.
Yep. Love this song. You're gonna call the Ghostbusters and can't control. Love it. But then do people remember this song is from this film?
Well, it's like more money.
There he's there. It's Bobby Brown right there. Look at it.
Little cameo.
But again, I said, do people know, like, if you heard the song, I don't know who would be playing it, but then would people know it's actually from Ghostbusters 2, or just think it's just from a Bobby Brown CD
really,
yeah. It's only a few people would know it's from this film, wouldn't it? I mean, they do say grab the proton packs to pack and they split, so, I mean, and they do say Vigo in the song, so, do love that song though. Tape it, kill.
It's like Men at Work when that starts and it's got Pump Up the Jam on.
Yeah, such a good song.
Rick Moranis is sporting his blown away hairstyle. You can tell Sigourney Weaver's like, yeah, okay, Cartier's, yeah, it's my kid, yeah. And this is where we get Janosch as a girl, isn't it?
Yes. With his long, stretchy arm.
Aye. Oh, the mayor's back.
There's a slum party. Where's he making them cigars from?
I know, the lack of smoker in this, there hasn't been much, has there?
No. I think it was like one scene. Montage.
Wow.
But yeah, it does run just like the very first one, doesn't it?
Yeah, because this is where the mayor would have
You know
came in.
what's going to happen. You know it's going to be something tall. It's going to be one big fight, and that's it.
Even Winston has his big speech towards the mayor here.
Yeah. I love his big section with his... Flapping his mouth.
Play a film I do like Dan Aykroyd in Sergeant Bilko.
Christ, Leslie Nielsen one. Jesus Christ.
No, that's Steve Martin.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, so I've got to get those mixed up. You bear with us, I'm in bed with my electric blanket on, so...
Electric blanket? What are you talking about?
I'm in bed with my electric blanket on.
I know you're in bed. Why you got the fucking electric blanket on for?
Because I'm always bloody cold.
Get yourself a hot water blanket.
A water bottle.
That's the one.
It was costing way too much money to did a kettle, so... Slime square.
Slime square. Oh, they get them put in the mental hospital, don't they?
Yeah. Parkview. Now, guy in the right chair, Dr. Guy, do you know who he is?
It's got to be Bill Murray's brother.
You're right, it is, yes.
Fucking told you.
Problem, isn't he?
It's just this fucking stunt double of Bill Murray.
You're absolutely right. It is him. Yes, that head was... Aww. Like how chicky is.
Scourge. I mean, them candles, man. No one fart on set, please. That'll be you. Ow. I think Walter Peck, from what I remember, is in the video game, though, isn't he?
I think he makes an appearance. But obviously, when they did a video game, they never actually met each other, you know? They just went in, went in and did a fighters, and that was it.
Yeah.
They never interacted with each other. It's a bit of a shame. It does look good in HD, actually. I think it looks a lot better than Ghostbusters 1 did, actually. In HD.
I mean, even the slime on the walls is running.
Yeah. That's what I'm just noticing.
Oh, he's got a bowling ball pin. I've got one of them just random in your house, so I can't say anything now.
Doesn't surprise us what's in your bloody room, mate. I'll tell you that now. But wouldn't you think by now it would be like an ultimate edition of these films? With everything, TV spots, more deleted scenes, every single thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, but I was saying to you before, the Ghostbusters 2 is only available on the box set on Blu-ray 1 and 2, unless you buy the Steelbook, yeah, which is now like discontinued and doomed rare. So you can't even get, so you can't even get Ghostbusters 2 on its own.
No, unless it's on 4K. That's
unless Winnie the Pooh. Disney's gonna sue someone. Baby's gone.
least he's walking now.
Jesus Christ, I know.
See the fidget player on the TV there.
I mean, that's a great
really good.
It does. That'll be like they did. But again, though, that's almost like the same kind of shot we had in the last one. There's the Twin Towers as well.
I know, I was about to say the same thing. I just didn't know if I could say it.
But it's not really a surprise why Yannick is dressed up as an old woman. Like,
I never really thought about it that much. I just thought he's freaky anyway, so... It's weird because the sound goes doo, doesn't it? It's like a doo. It's like a weird little ting when it goes over the city.
God, man, like that temp we had a Christmas. He was a dead canny lad, and he was well into his stuff and all that. But like, actually, Paul, doesn't he look like the guy from Ghostbusters 2? You and who? Janosch. That was it. Me and you were just broken for ages. So he's Bill Murray. Bill Murray, do you think he's got his head down so people don't realise?
I mean, I didn't know until a few years ago, like.
You can totally tell it's Bill Murray's brother. But there's a first cigarette, really.
Yeah. Mind you, what they're saying, it does sound crazy, doesn't it?
That's a really cool shot.
I remember this from the trailer for the movie also. This bit. On the stroke of midnight. You don't normally get trailers with a guy's voice on now, do you? These days. In a world.
You took the words out my mouth right now. I've got a movie with Kirsten Bell, I think she's called, or Kristen Lake, maybe. And it's called In a World, and it's about trying to get into the world of voice acting, especially for trailers. It's a really interesting film. I seen it on Sky a couple of years ago, and we actually had it in at work for like $150 in the clearance, so I grabbed it. But you're right, like
awesome.
The actor's voice, especially in the 80s and stuff like that, where they would do certain like
in a world where no one can save the world, like that, or some
yeah.
shit like that, isn't it? One man. Yeah, you don't get really good trailers like that these days.
Trailers just get misleading. Trailers like fucking trailers that, like, I was just talking about that today on another video. Maverick just looked like the fucking biggest fucking comedy hit of the summer. When you watched it, it's a very more of a traditional western than a comedy.
And I haven't seen it for bloody ages, Maverick.
It's me, Janosch. I'm surprised he didn't get a cameo in the new Ghostbusters. I mean,
yeah, maybe they just got from the very first film.
is Annie Potts in the new one?
Yeah, she's at reception when they go on bus rowing. They go to the reception and she goes, yeah, she's on the telephone, she puts the phone down.
Right. That'll be the problem if you're watching Ghost. How are you gonna watch Ghostbusters Answer the Call?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know which version I'm going to be able to get, either the extended one or whatever.
Because I've got the steelbook of both versions, so
we may have to do that one time. I may not be able to do it at the moment. We'll see, mate.
You'll have to check which version you've got. Cannibal Girls.
Again, inspired by the Blob, isn't it? The original 50s one.
Coming soon, Rabbit poster as well on the background. I love that shot.
And this bit here was supposed to be from the very first film. You know, the montage in the first film.
Right.
There was supposed to be ghosts in a court that come out and they would run away. So they just reused it for this film.
I mean, again, this is a PG, and it's quite fucking terrifying, shit like that, man.
Goblin City. For some strange reason, this ghost, the massive ghost that's in that I always think that was France.
Yeah,
Why did I
yeah.
think it was in France? Well, I have no idea why. I don't ask. When I was a kid.
This is
No.
quite... yeah, Cheech Martin's in this bit, isn't he?
He is, yes.
And there you go, Cheech Martin on the right in it.
Now, do you think this was in good taste, though? The Titanic thing?
Aye.
Good.
Because it's a punchline, better late than never.
Yeah, that's true.
He's been quite a few films, him on the left there, has just sat down. Oh, there's the Doctor from The Mask.
I was about to say.
In the middle.
Yep.
Oh,
Wasn't he also Ferris Bueller?
Aye, Bueller.
That's what the video game on the first video game where you go down the riverside. That's what it's called, the 10th level of hell. In the Ghostbusters 2 game on the Spectrum.
I tell you, a trailer that's got so much in it that's not in its main film, The Burbs.
Is this all from the work print one, I take it?
Yeah. I remember seeing this as a kid, and No Holds Barred, and that actor is in both of them films.
No Holds Barred, mint.
Hulk Hogan, man. Rip Raw.
Oh yeah, brother. I always thought this was a really good special effect when it's the sky and stuff. It gets dark. It's really good, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, a couple of years beforehand, John Carpenter was doing stuff like that with Big Trouble, and when you see that on the 4K restoration, it looks absolutely amazing. I mean, the only thing that didn't have a good thing there is a bit of blue tint on their faces in that last bit.
Yeah, so here's... And I guess we're gone.
I mean, that looks like a fucking lit up Christmas tree, that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you can... That effect doesn't look great on the far shots, but when you look at it closely, it is moving.
Yeah.
We believe you. Again, same as the first movie, isn't it? Coming up to the apartment building.
Yep.
Fucking Janosch, man. Tell you a film, I mean, I've still got the poster for this, but The Relic.
Is that the one with the thing in the museum? The creature? But it's really dark.
Yeah, really fucking dark movie. You can't see shit.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Aye. I think it was really good. Get free parking if you come for Vigo. Not bad. Love each other.
Music cue.
Love it.
when the crowd goes, oh. I mean, that's only the second time they've used the proton packs, isn't it?
It is, yes. You're right.
Again, it'll all been looking at budgets and knowing how much it cost in the first movie and...
Yep. Boo.
See, this is where this film goes a little bit weird.
Because it's a bit too American, a bit too like Spider-Man, like America. Like, you mess with us, you mess with all of us, kind of thing.
No, I'm talking about the Statue of Liberty just having a fucking stroll.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Why is Ray's uniform tucked into his like shoes for?
It's the fucking MC Hammer days, man. He's got MC Hammer pants on.
Oh
yeah. That's what Bill Murray's looking down there, his pants. Again,
the pack's been more
this
on the shoulders now.
Yeah, but this bit here is about like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, where they're like, "Oh, get out your head," and they're all looking at the Statue of Liberty.
There is a scene in this which annoys me more than anything else, and I'll tell you when I see it. That looks mint, that. Bit of outline, mate, but it looks mint.
I mean, like, it's not like there's an impending doom, right? They're just gonna go and wing a plan to move the entire Statue of Liberty. Like,
to get people's hopes up for good spirits.
It's slime time, fucking hell, man. Just even the sound effects sounds wrong, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sounds like a Saturday night with you, that Paul, like, doesn't it?
Sounds like I had a kebab the night before.
And there we go. NES Turbo Pad. I mean, that head must be made. That must be a set piece.
Definitely. Stony Walkman.
Like, so when you see it walking, it's just a guy painted in green.
It's a lass, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know how it got down from the pole it was, not the pole the stand it was on. Because it's like, right at the end, the stand's like 40 foot tall.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then it's across the water.
Yeah, it's a shame it didn't have a bit of a different ending. I mean, if it was such a deep, but
I mean, it didn't need this ending. It could have went, and there's Cheech Martin again. I mean, that would have just been a fucking extra cut. And now he's a Ghostbuster.
give him some sugar, baby. Groovy.
And he just, you know what I mean? He gets his send off as being a Ghostbuster, especially that opening scene there.
That's awesome, isn't it?
When he's fucking earmuffs on. At least one problem with that, though, they wouldn't have had problems getting the crowds for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the last painted up, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I should be a lot bigger than that, like a Statue of Liberty.
Oh, it must be, aye.
I mean, the biggest thing we have here is Grace Monument.
Oh no, we've got Penshaw Monument. That's pretty big. I love it how the foot there just all spongy, like it's got a sole. Because that car was a great miniature, that.
I love this bit. It's like where it says no bus stop, no standing, and he stands on a bit where he's not supposed to be standing. That's great.
That's Slimer. But see, if you were saying before there's outtakes or additional footage of him and Slimer in the room, that would have been a bigger payoff as a joke.
Yeah, because I think he's hanging meat up or something like that in the firehouse, and there's some pyrotechnics explosion.
That is so creepy with his eyes there. That face imprinted on the kid's face is so scary.
Apparently, he wasn't a nice guy. That the guy who played Vigo.
You can tell.
I think he was so upset that he replaced his voice.
But again, it's quite a short movie.
Yep.
Again though, like Walter Peck getting sprayed at the end of the movie.
It's alright, everything's okay now. You never see any use like Ghostbusters slime blower stuff, do you? It's always proton packs.
Yeah.
I think they did make them for Ghostbusters too. They're not just like for kids and that.
Well, that's it though, it's a marketing stuff, isn't it? Especially the branding of it.
Yeah.
Now what is that? Fucking massive vacuum cleaner. That's definitely the different of a kid. That kid, he looks slightly different from the one at the start. Right, overlay effect, nicely done.
Oh, Ray's speech is mint, isn't it? There's a kid, what's knocked up me?
Nah. Looks like he's a very tall guy though in general.
He is, yeah.
Again, that happened in the first movie when she turns around and goes bzzzt.
Yours has to be when he's alright. Everyone else is like, getting that, we couldn't move, I'm fine.
Look at that weird. Oh god, he's just a creep, isn't he?
They did a good job, Blob, no, I mean, to get the right actor to look that
That's it, yeah.
It's a shame it should have been a bit more Figo, a bit more Figo on it than just at the end.
Fucking Dan Aykroyd looks like he's asleep behind him. I mean, Bill Murray's had quite a lot of lines in this movie, like.
Oh yeah, you can tell he's the main star. Definitely the main star, isn't he? Any second now is the worst bit in the film for special effects. That annoys me to this day. And it's outside the museum, and you're right. The Statue of Liberty's lying down. Look, it's lying down. Why? Why is it lying down for? How's it going to get back up? I don't get it. It just bugs us. Now it's gone.
Now it's
lying down again.
Now it's lying down again.
I don't know. How's it going to get up? Put its hands down and get up.
So he's weakened off people singing.
Good spirits. That's a good catch, man.
Catch that baby. I mean, for the time, it's amazing effects. I mean, you can do weird face things like that on your phone now, but for then... Again, he's another thing like where you were telling us about, like you got possessed earlier on. So yes, it's the last bit, but it's been shortened down for a child audience. That'll be the biggest problem.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's really freaky, like.
It is. Look at Egon's face.
But yeah, that was the real Ghostbusters. Do Ghostbusters 2, the film. I say the real Ghostbusters in this film was like a book, and that was one of the scenes. I guess was the best.
Boom.
Just like that.
Statue of Liberty still on the floor though, Paul.
No, I don't know why it just bugs us.
Him on the left looks like the restaurant manager from the original.
Yeah. 5,000 fellas. Well, not paying.
Groovy.
Just groovy, baby.
And they're back together again. It's the ending from the first one, them kissing.
We'll find out in the next one, won't we?
Sigourney Weaver's confirmed for the one, isn't she?
Oh yeah, Lola, apart from Rick Moranis. And obviously, Harold Ramis. Listen. This is a nice bit though. Oh, little music enough, it's really nice. Maybe I'm just emotional these days. Get a tear out my eye.
And they're fucking painting an ending, man. I mean, what's that about?
How come you haven't got one of those paintings anyway? You should get one of these paintings too.
I've got the Vigo one.
Yeah, no, you should get one of these ones. With all, like, half naked and pointing and stuff. And, yeah, you should get that one.
It looks like Egon's got a fucking phone, never mind a fucking book now. Let's take a selfie. That looks like he was taking a selfie in the mirror. And ends with the same, the crowd cheering on them as they walk out. See, Harold Ramis got his name above Dan Aykroyd there as well.
Probably did a bit more rewrites and stuff.
There you go. There's the montage though, ending. We talked about Bill Murray,
Yeah.
Dan
The credits
Aykroyd,
on in, yeah.
Sigourney Weaver.
Obviously, that's a deleted scene.
Totally 90s, going in 90s music, isn't it?
This is me.
That's totally something you would do.
Again, I said a lot of these would be like deleted scenes, I mean, and just extras, I mean. It'd be nice to see stuff like this. A bit more busting of the ghosts. But yeah, there's not that many busting of the ghosts in this compared to the other ones, is there? Well,
Kurt Fuller is his name. But there's obviously the mayor come to see the aftermath.
yeah.
Duzzlehoff. I like it how Slimer gets Ann Slimer. There's some guy in the background though taking pictures of them.
Can you imagine that, walking down the street and seeing Ghostbusters run past you, man?
I mean, if that's a party, where's all the He-Man stuff? Some creepy dancing going on here.
Mate, dancing.
See, that looks like the proper end scene, that.
Now, you telling me the Statue of Liberty can get down from that pillar down to there without breaking its... Nah. Nah.
I mean,
That's the only thing bugs us.
going back to the size, I think the size is maybe alright when it's walking around the city, but you're right, like that's proper like a hop down, that. Well,
Yeah.
I've been Stephen Monty Mason. This has been Paul Rae, and we will be back for probably Ghostbusters Answer the Call or Turtles, depending on what Paul's got, because Paul doesn't have a DVD player and he doesn't have a Blu-ray player, but does own all these movies, but doesn't have a player, and at the moment we can't go out to get one. So yeah, thanks for listening. Goodbye for now.
Take care, guys.
Bye.